the Foreign Ministry, your Foreign Ministry. Today, we are honored to host the Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom and his delegation. We'll also memorandum of understanding on trade and investment between the Republic of Sierra Leone and the United Kingdom. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, on behalf of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio and the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, let me welcome Your Excellency, the Foreign Secretary and delegation to the most beautiful country in the world, Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, let me also welcome you as a proud member of our Sierra Leonean and African family on two fronts. First, your ancestral home is Sierra Leone, and so we can safely say that you are proudly a son of the soil. So welcome. Cabo. Second, as Foreign Secretary, you represent a glorious history of a close family relationship between Sierra Leone and the United Kingdom, spanning more than 200 years. So Sierra Leone welcomes you to this extended UK family. Sierra Leone welcomes you as a proud member of the Commonwealth. Sierra Leone welcomes you as a brother, a friend, a partner, and an ally. Because our historic, long-standing relationship, and in particular, this dependable, trusted, and special relationship is built over a long period of time that has created mutual benefits for our two countries and our two peoples. So, Your Excellency, one of our most important, UK is one of our most important, trusted, and what I would call all-weather friend. A special relationship in the sense that the United Kingdom has always stood with Sierra Leone in our most difficult periods and times when nobody believed in Sierra Leone in the 90s because of the tragedy of the Civil War. It took the intervention of the United Kingdom, committing resources, time, and energy to promote Sierra Leone. For this, during our most critical time of the challenges of nation building and state formation, you stood with us. For that, we remain always grateful. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, on behalf of His Excellency, let me convey our sincere thanks to you so that you can communicate that, Honorable Foreign Secretary, to our headquarters. We thank you very much. We are also of the view that UK, as our most significant partner, has made significant contributions to the development of Sierra Leone. And in fact, your visits to the Bow Government Hospital yesterday and all the social media posting buoyant and happy children posing with you in selfie, that says a lot. So probably as Foreign Minister, I should do the same, follow my colleague Basic Minister to do that as well, to engage with children. But what is important here is that you went to Bow Government Hospital to demonstrate what UK government has been doing and is doing to the development of the country. So not just the health sector, but the education sector, the security sector, the justice sector, the governance sector. So I'm delighted that Sierra Leone provides the platform for you yesterday to launch the UK government new global women and child strategy. What's a better country to come and launch that global program? Because for us, Sierra Leone today is a beacon of hope and a trailblazer for the promotion of women and girls' empowerment. And President Bio himself is the one that is providing that inspiration and leadership on women and girls' empowerment in Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, when I was Foreign Minister designate on the margins of the London 2018 Commonwealth Summit in London, on that margin, Your Excellency, the President of Sierra Leone was one of the first leaders to sign up on the UK government declaration on girl-child empowerment and to leave no girl behind. So we have started this process a long time ago. Your Excellency, today Sierra Leone has legislated the Gender Equality and Women Empowerment Act 2022. This act will transform women and girls' empowerment in Sierra Leone. So, Your Excellency, Sierra Leone has a lot in our own modest way to share with the United Kingdom. But equally enough, Sierra Leone can learn a lot from the United Kingdom on how to promote women and girls' empowerment for leadership and inclusive development. No country can ever develop without focus on women and girls' empowerment. This is the view of His Excellency the President. So let me conclude by stating that as we sign the MOU on trade and investment, I want to confirm that the government of President Julius Maada Bio is a pro-business friendly government. We have created a conducive environment by establishing the enabling environment for the ease of doing business. For instance, the government, under the leadership of President Bio, has established the National Investment Board as a one-stop shop, where all those who want to do trade promotion and facilitation can, in one area, do commercial, financial, technical, programmatic concurrence in one place, in terms of the ease of doing business. We hope that by the next time you visit Sierra Leone, the duration for the registration of the business will be 6 hours, not 6 weeks. We're making progress. We also have a conducive environment around tax and investment incentives, which we hope that the British private sector can also look to. So that is why we are looking forward to the next UK-Africa Trade Summit, and we hope to leverage some of these opportunities. So I want to conclude by presenting to you Sierra Leone as a land of investment opportunities. Sierra Leone is the new El Dorado, the new frontier for trade and investment, because of the huge opportunities for investment in the mining sector, in the energy sector, health sector, tourism, agriculture goals. The opportunities are enormous. Where UK businesses can come in to help us change one perspective, change the narrative away from dependence to trade and investment. Where UK companies can do two things. Firstly, do good, that means help the country. Do well, make profit. It is on that note that I want to encourage that we continue this very strong, credible, trusted partnership to continue to strengthen our bilateral and multilateral relationship, to secure not only development and progress and security and stability in Sierra Leone, but also in the United Kingdom. But also to finally commend that His Excellency the President is committed to holding a free, fair, credible, inclusive, democratic election. Bearing in mind, Sierra Leone has held 4 successful democratic elections, including 2 transfers of power that involves transfer of power from incumbent government to opposition political parties, which is rare in Africa. So this will be the 5th. And His Excellency the President is committed to making sure that free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive democratic election to further consolidate the international image and credibility of Sierra Leone as a successful case for post-war peace building and state reconstruction. On that note, I thank you. Welcome, Kushe, and Kabesh.
We want to thank you very much, Honorable Minister. It is now my distinct honor to invite the Right Honorable Mr. James Cleverly to make his own remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, for distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a genuine honor and a pleasure to be able to join you here in Freetown on the second day of my short visit to Sierra Leone. As the Foreign Minister said yesterday, I was in Bo, the birthplace of my mother. I saw midwives. Again, my mother was a midwife. It was great to see those passionate medical professionals saving lives and improving lives of mothers and babies. We are proud that we were able to support that work, proud that we were able to support the work of the secondary school system here in Sierra Leone, and it was lovely, genuinely lovely, to see the students at the Islamic secondary school. They were engaging, they were thoughtful, they were polite, they were a credit to your country, until I got my phone out for the selfie, and then they were noisy, and then they were intense, just as children should be. You should be very, very proud of the people that I met, and it's a genuine pleasure to have the opportunity to do so. But today, we are here to talk predominantly about trade and business and investment. And trade drives growth, it drives prosperity, it drives development. Yesterday, my focus was very much on International Women's Day and on the UK's own International Women and Girls strategy. But of course, trade and investment and business have a role there as well, because I want to underline how much it enriches and empowers women, and therefore the whole of society, when there is a full participation of women in the economy. And their participation, their greater participation in economic activity, not just here in Sierra Leone or in the UK, but indeed around the world, is at the heart of the UK's foreign policy. Women's empowerment is the best tool when it comes to lifting millions of people out of poverty right across the globe. And this memorandum of understanding will enhance the joint trade and investment relationship between the UK and Sierra Leone. It will help us transform what the Foreign Minister has already and very accurately highlighted is a close, intimate and very, very long-standing relationship. And this agreement, this memorandum of understanding makes that even stronger still, with trade and investment at its heart. And this year, we are also launching the UK's new Developing Countries Trading Scheme. And it will be one of the most advanced trade preference schemes in the world. It will unlock exciting new international business opportunities in Sierra Leone and in 64 other countries around the world. So not only will Sierra Leone continue to benefit from duty-free exports to the UK, but it will also become much easier for you to sell goods to us produced using components imported from other countries. And there are great opportunities for Sierra Leonean businesses trading in textiles and in palm oil in particular. But for us to realise the full benefits of open trade between the UK and Sierra Leone, we need to make sure we fully harness the amazing entrepreneurial spirit of businesses, of exporters, and of investors. And the annual trade and investment forums between Sierra Leone and the UK that this memorandum of understanding creates will help us do exactly that. It's a great way to capitalise on business opportunities which will support job creation and economic development in both our countries. British international investment will also help to draw in capital that your businesses, your country's businesses need to expand. And further opportunity for growth in trade between our two countries is in the next UK-Africa Investment Summit, which I can announce will be held in London on the 23rd and the 24th of April of next year. And I'm delighted that Sierra Leone will be among 24 African countries that the Prime Minister will be inviting to participate. And this summit will bring together heads of state and heads of government from 24 African countries with British and African business leaders. It will strengthen the UK-African partnerships to create jobs, to create growth, and to support British and African talent in innovative sectors such as finance and technology, whilst also promoting women entrepreneurs. I also want to highlight the value of the partnership projects here on the ground in Sierra Leone. The British High Commission's expertise, led by our fantastic High Commissioner herself, and the Investor Salone programs help attract investors and get Sierra Leonean firms export and investment ready, matching them with international buyers. And that's a key goal in making sure that they have the access to the finance that they need to help them innovate and to help them grow. Today, the President and I, who I will be meeting later on today, are delighted to jointly announce the 3 winners of Complete Salone. The 3 winning businesses have developed innovative business models that will tackle all climate change and if there were a drum roll, this would be the time for the drum roll. The 3 winners are Absolute Barkeep, Jolax Manufacturing, and Wagyu Farms. Now, let me tell you a little bit about each of them. Absolute Barkeep will establish a recycling mill, creating 500 jobs by converting used waste paper into sanitary products for the first time in Sierra Leone. Jolax Manufacturing is setting up a sustainable palm oil refineries using solar energy, working with smallholder farmers, 60% of whom will be women, in rural areas, and making sure they are ready for exporting. And Wagyu Farms will train 600 men and women in passion fruit production, providing alternative livelihoods to cocoa farmers close to the Gola rainforests during the hungry season. So, congratulations to all 3 of you for making it. Congratulations for the fantastic innovative business work that you are doing. But now the real work starts. But I'm sure that everyone here present will put our memorandum of understanding into practice, put it into good use, and I very much look forward to seeing it in action, and as a son of the soil, but as the British Foreign Secretary, I will be telling lots of other people about it at our next Africa Investment Summit. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Foreign Secretary, for laying out what it appears to be the very strong, cooperative relations that exist between our 2 countries. And I also wish to, on behalf of the Ministry, congratulate the 3 innovative winners. It is now the time for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding. And on that note, I would like to invite our friends from the British High Commission so that we will proceed with the signing ceremony. to thank you, both the Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs and of course the UK Foreign Secretary for this very notable achievement. And that concludes the signing ceremony event regarding the MOU. Now it's going to be time for questions, and then we will entertain about 3 or 4 questions that will be directed to the UK Foreign Secretary. I will start with Mr. Omar Fofana on my right hand.
Secretary, welcome to see you again. There are now strong attempts by Russia and China to frame Western intervention in Africa in colonial terms. Does having a conference like this, bringing Africa to London, play into those stereotypes? And how are you seeking to push that? And secondly, what will be the objective of the UK AIS?
Thank you for that question. In the private meeting that we had, I'm sure the Foreign Minister won't be too upset for me to give a small taste of the conversation we had privately before the meeting. I made it very clear that the UK understands the negative real-world impact that Russia's invasion of Ukraine is having on Syrians. Food price increases, fuel price increases are as a direct result of Russia's violence in Ukraine and their use of economic coercion, their restriction of supply routes, and their use of energy provision as a point of leverage. So we know that this war is not only having an impact on the people of Ukraine, it's having an impact on the people of Syria every single day, and we want to bring it to a conclusion, and we want to bring it to a conclusion quickly. But I think Syrians probably understand better than many, many other people in the world that when violence is happening, it has to be resolved. And just as the UK came to the support of Syrians during the Civil War to try and bring that to a just and sustainable conclusion, we need to bring this war, this attempted invasion by Russia into Ukraine, to a just and sustainable conclusion. It can't just be an end to the fighting. It needs to be a meaningful end to the aggression, so that Ukraine can live within its borders in peace and security, just as we would wish for any other country in the world. And Russia's attempt to frame their invasion of Ukraine as somehow an act of self-defense is as dishonest as it is transparently perverse. With regard to the Africa Investment Summit, we've already discussed that there have been times in Syria's history where the UK has come to the aid of a close friend, part of family. And we do so happily, both through the Civil War, through the Ebola, and we're now doing so with regards to, as I say, support for women and girls. But ultimately, the relationship we want to have with Sierra Leone is one of economic partnership. I know the entrepreneurial spirit that's embedded in the heart of every Syrian. We want to unlock that opportunity. We want to do so hand in hand with the UK, so that both our countries can prosper economically, so that the Syrians that come and live and work in the UK, just as my mother did and other members of my family did, contribute to the UK's economic prosperity, but also that UK, British business people, British investors help contribute to Sierra Leone's economic benefit. That's the relationship that we want to see for decades and perhaps the next 2 centuries. And that's the kind of mutually beneficial, economically secure, bilateral relationship that we want to see over the next couple of 100 years. And perhaps it starts here today with 2 close friends working closely together on pursuing our mutual economic benefit.
Thank you very much. We'll have another question from the gentleman to my right.
I'm a police and I work for Salone newspaper. It's a foreign secretary, and there your mother works in right. How was it feeling like visiting
It was quite emotional, actually. It was. I hadn't quite known what to expect. I've been to Sierra Leone a number of times in the past. I've been up country in my childhood, and I hadn't really known what to expect. I mean, firstly, the welcome really caught me by surprise. The fact that so many people had come to the streets to say hello was quite exciting, and that was wonderful. But the thing that really struck me was I walked through the hospital with the medical professionals, with the matrons, with the midwives, and I could see the passion in the work that they were doing. I could see when they spoke about how they had been working to deliver your government's agenda to bring down child mortality. And they talked me through the figures, and they knew the figures instinctively, and how those child mortality figures had come down, and their plans to bring those mortality figures down even further. And of course it reminded me of my mother, who she passed away about 12 years ago, and of course it reminded me of her, and it reminded me of that incredible role in society that medical professionals play, particularly those involved with reproductive health and women and children. It is the most important function in humanity. If we don't reproduce, nothing else matters. And so the work of those women is absolutely at the foundation stone of all future success. And it was incredibly moving. And I was very proud that once again, strong, determined Sierra Leonean women were making a real difference. And that's why it's so important we support them through Women and Girls. And I was joking about this last night, the reception that we had at the High Commissioner's residence. I can't think of any problem in the world that is made worse by women's intervention. Women never make things worse. They only ever make things better. And if we could find a way of applying women to more of the world's problems, I think we'd solve those problems more quickly and more successfully. So there you go. But yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you very much. We'll have another question from Dr. Leone. Again, to my right.
Welcome again to Sierra Leone, our brother. And let me explain the thanks for what you're doing for the women of Sierra Leone. I am the first woman in Sierra Leone to edit a daily newspaper, and that was started 18 years ago. I'm also the first woman who has broken a lot of glass ceilings in Sierra Leone. That brings me to the question I want to ask you. We're here to discuss trade and investment, but a huge chunk of what you have said reverberates in the op-ed that you published yesterday in a lot of British newspapers about the importance of women, elevating women, making sure women are visible. My question, I have two questions today. The first one is, do you recognize that the fight for gender equality can be hijacked by persons who have a sinister agenda? Is that something the British government recognizes? That because we are so sensitive about promoting women, uplifting women. I was a cabinet minister for gender affairs in Sierra Leone in the last government. So I know how important it is to elevate women, and it is something that is so emotional. Are you aware that it can be hijacked by elements who want to hide behind the fight for gender equality and the advancement of women? Secondly, I noticed you referred to the British High Commissioner here as, quote unquote, fantastic. I have a problem with that, Mr. Minister. I have never met her because she's always very busy meeting other people, I can understand. But the British High Commissioner has had a consistent pattern of using the fight for the advancement of women, gender equality, to hinder the fight against corruption, which I also consider to be a very, very serious fight in Sierra Leone. Yesterday, something happened that actually is the reason why I decided I will not send someone to this press conference. I will come here and pose the question to you directly. We have a female outgone mayor of Freetown. She's seeking re-election. She wants to be re-elected. So yesterday she launches a campaign message on social media. And in the consistent pattern of your fantastic British High Commissioner, what does she do? She uses the official British government Twitter account to tweet an endorsement of the campaign message of the mayor of Freetown. What does that send out to us? One, it's a continuation of the British High Commissioner's efforts to promote the mayor of Freetown under the guise of gender equality because she's a woman. And secondly, it has created ripples across Sierra Leone. People are worried. If the British High Commissioner, with all of what we've been seeing her doing, we've been hearing her doing, that are negative towards the fight against corruption under the guise of gender equality, if the British High Commission, in other words, the British government, can click like on a campaign message of a political figure in Sierra Leone, do you agree with me that it is a breach of the Vienna Convention against interference in local political matters? Thank you.
Firstly, I'm not going to edit my description of my High Commissioner as being anything other than fantastic. She is absolutely fantastic. For those of you who don't know her, she had a long and successful career in commerce before coming into public policy, and she is one of a significant number, an increasing number of incredibly high-achieving women in the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. 8 out of the 10 most senior ambassadorial appointments in the British system are currently held by women, including in Washington, including in the United Nations, in Russia, in China, in Ukraine, and a number of other places. So I am not going to edit my description of our High Commissioner being anything other than fantastic. She is that. All agendas can be hijacked. I mean, that is a statement of fact. But also, what is an incredibly important statement is that we should seek at every opportunity to promote and support greater diversity in the world of business, the world of public policy, the world of politics. I will make a statement on which I feel more strongly about than almost anything else in my role. We do not take sides in other countries' political affairs. The political leaders of a country are exclusively the decision to be made by the people of that country. And that is a universally applicable situation. The earlier question asked me about our relationship with Russia. Observers will note at no point have we called for regime change. The leadership of Russia is exclusively for the Russian people. The leadership, whether it be at municipal or national level here in Sierra Leone, is exclusively for Sierra Leoneans. We have worked well and closely with political leaders of both political parties here in Sierra Leone. And I make this commitment to the people of Sierra Leone, whoever they choose to elect, in what I hope and expect to be free, fair, open and peaceful elections, the UK government and the UK High Commissioner will work with those people. We want to see more women involved in public policy, we want to see more women involved in commerce, in the media, because as I said, I struggle to think of any problem that was made worse through female intervention. Where incumbents have made messages which are in accordance with these long-standing values held by the UK government, we will amplify those messages. And if the incumbents change, but the agenda is maintained, we will amplify the messages of those new individuals in positions of power. So I'll say at the end of this answer what I said at the beginning of this answer. His Majesty's High Commissioner here in Freetown is fantastic. I can let you know she enjoys my 100% support, and her integrity is above reproach.
Sorry, sir, you didn't answer the second question. The
I think I
second
did.
question, do you think it goes against the Vienna Convention?
No. Because she hasn't taken a political position. What she's taken is amplified a long-standing position of the UK government with regard to empowering women and girls. As I say, my position on this is absolutely clear. His Majesty's High Commissioner here in Sierra Leone has acted absolutely with professionalism and integrity, but completely within the confines of the Vienna Convention.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have just one more question, and I'd like to give the floor to the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education.
Thank you very much, and welcome again to Sierra Leone. You mentioned about investing in women and girls being the best tool. We certainly agree that it might be perhaps the golden bullet for solving our development problems, particularly when you focus on rural, poor, the illiterate, those who marginalize women. And so we have been investing in these social infrastructure spending. And the question is, how do you think investments in social infrastructure, energy, health, education, how does that tie in with the new agreements that we're signing on trade and investment? And related to that, perhaps, you have been to the field, and we can sit around the table and speak a lot about policy, these social infrastructure policies. Do you have any experiences from the field that you can relate back to us sitting around there about what you think works or what we can do more of and amplify to really drive impact? Because when you see it, it's different from when we, the policy makers, are on the ground. So it would be great to hear from you on that. Thank you.
Thank you. You make a very, very good point. It is very easy for policymakers, for academics, for politicians to do a lot of serious thinking and analysis, and we write policy papers, and we have debates, and we have votes. And these things are an important part of the process. But ultimately, if that thinking and that work doesn't have a positive impact to the people whose lives we are here to support, then frankly it's wasted effort. I'm very, very pleased to see that the work that we've been doing in the UK government and the work that's happened in Sierra Leone and with the Sierra Leone government is having an impact on the ground. When I spoke to those, actually I was about to say, when I spoke to the girls at the Islamic Cool Secondary School, the reason I paused, because it wasn't just about the girls, it was also very much about the boys. Because if the girls at that school were passionate about women's empowerment, and if they were passionate about being protected from inappropriate behaviour and violence and sexual violence, but the boys weren't, then I would feel perhaps that there was still a huge amount of work to do. But it was clear the boys understood that women's empowerment was just as much their agenda as it is women's agenda. I gave an interview on British Radio 4, BBC Radio 4, on Women's Hour, which is one of the most listened to programmes in British radio. And I said, I recognise the irony of a man talking about a women and girls strategy on the Women's Hour radio programme. But the thing is that this is an issue about women, but this is not just an issue for women, it's an issue for all of us. And we all have a role to play, and that is true in government and policy and academia and service delivery, but also very much the people who are making it work, the teachers, the students, those health professionals, the young mothers, women and girls in households right across this country and mine. We all have a role to play in it. We all have a role in making improvements. And the point I would finish with is if there are any men, whether in this room or watching this broadcast, who think that somehow they're going to lose out if women get more power, this is not a zero-sum game. It's not about the transfer of power from the men to women. it's about generating more power, more opportunity, more economic activity. When women prosper, men also prosper. The women do not prosper at the expense of men, they do so hand in hand with men. Successful women create environments where men can also succeed. And so if there's any man, as I say, watching, listening, who thinks that it's in their interest to hold this agenda back, they are fools, because it is in their interest to push this agenda forward. And that's why I describe myself as a feminist. I'm as passionate about this, because it's in my interest. You know, there's a degree of informed self-interest in this. We should all recognise that this is an agenda that benefits absolutely everyone, everywhere in the world. Male, female, adult, child. It is such an important agenda, and it absolutely goes hand in hand with economic improvement. Again, women entrepreneurs so often are the catalyst to bring real prosperity, particularly rural parts of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Foreign Secretary. And that brings us to the end of this event, but also the Q&A session. And I also want to extend our deepest appreciation to all of you for coming. But before we do leave, I am delighted to announce that the UK Foreign Secretary is honored to have a photo opportunity with our winners. So on that note, I would kindly like to invite our 3 innovative winners to join the UK Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs with photo op. Once again, thank you all.